I hope everybody made it over. Gosh, this is going to be very low resolution also. We just had, oh good, Gina made it over. See if I can get some more light in here. I know that's going to be very dark. Hi, Kristen. Hold on, everybody. It's a little better. I broke my little light for the, I have a light for that, but it's so harsh. Let me turn it on. Ow. That's better. It's a little harsh, but it's better. Okay, it sort of blinded me for a minute. I hope Lynn made it over. Except Lynn, you might have missed the 10-minute video I just uploaded right before this. It was actually an 8-minute video. Let's see. You can still, well, Ramesa, yeah. Why don't you come over here and help me clean the kitchen? I still haven't cleaned the kitchen from, from my company. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Catherine from Spring, Texas. Thank you. I should move a little bit. You can't really see it, can you? My head is sort of right where the tree is. Oh, but yeah, if I do that, then, well, let's see. Let me do this. Somebody told me once how to be able to set this up before you go live so it's all perfect, but I don't remember what they told me. That was a long time ago. And I believe it involved third-party software, which I don't want to deal with. Okay. Gemma made it. Gemma, go back and watch that video if you didn't already, the one I just did with Daryl and Denise. Thank you, Denise. Well, my daughter-in-law did that. I didn't do it. I just had the box sitting over here all this time. Tracy's here for a few minutes, and I asked Tracy to come on because our hearts go out to Cammie, who is one of our regulars. She sent me lovely things in the past, and I just heard from her today that her mother passed away 2 days before Christmas. And what a blow. You think that, like, my mother has dementia, and you think you're prepared for something like that, but she said, that white thing that's bugging me. Let's see. Anyway, I guess that's my computer. Yeah. She was saying she was not prepared. She thought she was prepared, and she was not prepared. So all of our hearts and warm wishes go out to our dear friend Cammie, who is a great follower of this channel. We love you, and we are thinking of you during this time of loss. So I'm going to catch up here, Peter. I didn't realize you were from Australia. Where are you writing from in Australia? Of course, we're breathlessly following over here what's happening in Australia because we don't want it to happen here. I'm laughing, but I'm crying. Okay. I'm supposed to be cheerful all the time. I was reminded today, somebody said. Let's see. You know, and the tree smells really good. Remember how long ago? When did I put that up? 2 weeks ago, at least. And he was saying that the tree inspector from the Department of Agriculture had inspected his trees because they were having some kind of bugs coming in from somewhere up north. And he said they were the best looking trees. This tree smells so good. Just when I walk by through here, I get a waft of pine, and it's just lovely. Marn is here. Good. Be good if my hair was sparkling. I didn't even comb it. I decided it looked good enough without combing. I'm doing the what is our I am so bad with names. I rely on you guys to put words in my mouth. The actress Hepburn. No, not Hepburn. That was Audrey and yes, Catherine Hepburn. Yes, Hepburn. Were there 3 Hepburns? Audrey, Catherine, and yeah. Gosh, I used to have all of my Hollywood details: who married who had many children, who divorced who, where they lived. You know, I had it all in my head a long time ago. Now it's all just gone. Thank you, Peter. My daughter-in-law did that for me. I just had the tree sitting there when they got here the night before Christmas Eve, and I said, I'd really like it if you guys would decorate that. And if you saw the last video, I don't know if it's the last one. I'm doing so many. Let's see. It was the one I did yesterday, where I had this slideshow, and I am swearing. I don't swear, but I don't swear online, but I swear I am never doing another slideshow in a video. It takes way too, you have no idea. You see some still shots that go along for about a minute, 4 seconds each, and you think, how hard could that be? It is hard. You have to put a move on every single, it's got to move. It can't just sit there. You can't just go boom, boom, boom. It has to move. You have to put a move on it, which involves a few steps. Now, if you established a move and you wanted this exact same move on all 10, that's fine. I mean, that doesn't take as long, but do you really want to do that? You know what I mean? That gets boring too. So especially then if you have some vertical shots, this is why I'm always saying, if anybody sends me pictures, send them horizontally, because you see how hard it is to manage a vertical shot. I've gotten off on production. Sorry about that. But anyway, in that slideshow, you will see them decorating the tree. And after the tree was decorating the tree, and then afterwards they did a photo session with Fred, their beautiful red golden retriever. And then there's a behind the scenes shot in there of how they got such a great shot of Fred. I mean, he looks like a professional dog actor. He's like that right in front of the tree, perfectly lit, and I'm over there taking a picture of my son holding up a dog treat, and she's got the camera, and she's on the floor, and he's bending over, and the dog is laying down. But then you see the shot, and the shot is perfect. This dog is like just absolutely gorgeous. Let's see. It's not raining here. That's weird. Pouring rain at Jennifer's in West Central Georgia. Well, it's probably going to get here soon. Yes, Peter, very true. Here in Melbourne, yes, you're in summer, but what is the situation? That's what I'm wondering about. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy says I don't have to be cheerful all the time. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. I agree. Let's see. Okay, Happy, I see your comment there. Peter, Let's see. Then Debbie. Oh, thank you. Gosh, thank you. My back is killing me. I'm not exactly sure why. I was standing in front of the computer and I took a hot bath right before because I thought maybe that would ease it up a little bit. Let's see. Right. Well, no, Daryl, once we get that, which God forbid, once we got that, we would have to be cheerful or we would get a bad score. Yes, that is African Queen is definitely one of Bogart. She was with Bogart in that. It was definitely one of her big movies. Well, thank you, Debbie. That's what I did in this video with Daryl. I mean, Daryl, next time I come over with a camera, we got to turn some lights on, okay? I mean, I'm looking at that. I'm trying to pull a thumbnail out of that video, and the resolution was like, the pixels were about this far apart. So that picture of me like doing that is just like so blurry. But I mean, it's just one more thumbnail. I haven't just talking about the number of videos that I've produced that all the big creators, I'm not a big creator. I want to be a big creator, but anyway, all the creators are making a lot of videos these days, trying to grow their channels, myself included. And I hadn't every one that I export from my software program before I upload it, it goes into my desktop. So, if you understand just a tad bit about computers, and believe me, I'm on that category. I don't know much about computers, even though I have a very thin working knowledge of editing and Photoshop. And I know as much about Photoshop today as I knew 15 years ago. That did not increase with all of those new versions of Photoshop. My mind is still like anyway, I had exported all of that stuff to my desktop and I have a 27-inch screen and I have very small icons for the various files, right? They went all the way, they filled up, and this is not a good thing. This is hard on your computer. My Mac guy used to tell me this, Kaye, do not keep a whole lot of files all over your screen. It's very hard for your computer to continually support all that, especially to start it up, for example. So routinely, compile those files and, get them off your desktop. Since your desktop is what, I guess you could set some other thing to be your default to open, like your documents or whatever. But most people open on their desktop. That's where their latest files are and all that. So it was completely filled up and overlapping on the right side again. I'm going, oh. And when I went back and looked at it, all of the videos since September were still on here. And so I probably took an hour, at least an hour or two today, just to do updates. I moved all of those files into the external. I took them off the desktop. This is my big computer in there. Took them off the desktop, put them in the trash. I haven't deleted them yet because it was still copying, and I was copying because once you put it on the external, then you got to back that up. So I was backing that up. That had not finished backing up when I left the computer. So, but when I do that, then I'm going to empty the trash and then reboot the computer and get it started again. But what I really want to do is I want to learn Linux. I don't know if I'm saying that right. How many people here know Linux? Anybody? Judy is here. Thank you, Kristen. Jack is here. Jack has informed me in the last hour that things are not looking too bad. Yesterday it looked like there might even be a possible tornado tonight, and said he would. I was going to try to come to you live from under the stairs, but it's not even raining. I mean, it's not raining hard. I can't hear anything yet. So I'm really fortunate if we don't get hit too bad. Mm-hmm. Peter is talking about his working in video production. Hi, Dina. Thank you. Echocentric is here. Oh, I know, and what happens is, I don't know if you realize this, but, well, you can set this. Like I said, I am not a techie, but you can set, every time you make a video in Premiere Pro, and maybe it's this way with other editing programs, there is an auto save, and then there's an auto preview. And the preview is a big file. And once you've exported, I mean, we make so many videos, let's face it. I mean, I used to make 2 videos a month. From 2012 through 2015, I made 2 videos a month, like a show. They were short, and they were never over. I think in my 20th video, which was that big tour of all the deserts in bloom, that I spent 3 days filming it, and then I spent another day editing it. A lot of work. Oh my gosh, grueling. A lot of work went into that. And I think that was about 10 or 11 minutes, because back then we just didn't make long videos. Now, now I'm starting, you may have noticed, I'm trying to start shortening my videos again and trying to see if that works better, because, I'm just trying to find the formula that works, here. So let me catch up. That's right. And do you know how to use it, Jothan? Because I would like to learn. So yeah, so Jack is saying that Friday and Saturday are going to be severe weather days for me. So say a prayer. Leo 555. Oh, you're an expert gardening? An expert gardener because of me, Leo? Leo's been watching me since he was a little kid. That really makes me feel old. Susan. I'm going to do live from under the stairs, I'm sure, at some point, but maybe not till spring. Thank you, Peter. That is a sculpture that I made in college that I have not been able to get rid of. I had 3 pieces. I only took 1 sculpture class. I knew that sculpture was not going to be my thing. My mother loved wrought iron sculpture, and she was not trained or anything. She just loved to put it together and paint everything black. And I have a couple of her pieces, around. I have a few of her pieces. Anyway, one of them was a plaster thing that I made, and I did. It was heavy. I used it for a doorstop. It was really heavy, and I decided to get rid of it. And I left that in California. But he came with me. And when I was really knitting all the time, I thought, I'm going to keep a record of all the things, because my mother did that. When for like about 10 years, she was like sewing, or 5 years, she was like sewing like mad. I was sending her patterns. I was sending her fabric. She was cranking out the outfits. When she would just go tunnel focus into a project, and she would put it on and have my father she always used a Polaroid. It would take Polaroids of all these outfits that she would wear. The only place she ever went was to church, and the occasional ladies would get together for a luncheon or something. But anyway, I thought when I was doing all this knitting, I made something like, I don't know, they're upstairs, 25 sweaters, um, 50 or 60 or 70 scarves, gave a bunch of those away. I don't even, and shawls, poncho, a couple of ponchos. Anyway, I would put them on him and he would be the model and I would take a picture and then put it in a little photo album. Anyway, that thing is really heavy. Okay, so, and it's what it is it's on a heavy wood block. It's got an iron rod through the middle, and then it's plaster. It's plaster. Yeah, it's plaster. Alberta, Louise is here from Alberta. Minus 24 sounds so cold. Daryl, you must work on these jokes. We're gonna have to have like I should compile these jokes and we'll like have one, video with you just telling these jokes. That's very funny. Well, that's right, Peter, because nobody, there are so many channels to follow now. And we all started to getting to making, that's terrible English, sorry. We all started making longer and longer videos. And it's like, how many minutes do you have for each channel? I understand you watch more than just my channel. And so I thought, well, if I get back down to 8 to 10 minutes, I'm much safer. But, it's funny. Like, for example, my video, They're Gone. Now what? That I did yesterday. That's like going above typical and doing well so far. Whereas which wasn't that hard to make. But however, the marmalade video, oh my gosh, that, first of all, it took hours to shoot it, and it took at least 5 hours to edit it. And I still managed to get it down to 10 minutes. I sped it up, cut out stuff, but all of those titles, every time you see a title, by the way, Premiere Pro is phasing out the title program that I've been using the whole time, because I'm not an editor. If anybody is new to this channel, I'm not an editor. It doesn't come naturally to me. I said I was never going to edit when I started this channel, and I hired an editor. But I had a very different idea about where this channel would be in a year or two than it is. And so after 4 years, I had to start doing everything myself, because I had spent all my money on that went to other people. I'm glad I was able to support them, and some of them really needed it at the time. And I'm grateful that I was able to do that, to help people, but give them work. There came a point where, other creators were going, Kaye, you cannot do that. You cannot pay people to do stuff, because that's, you don't make that much money. So you really have to have over 100,000 subscribers to make just even a few $100s a month. So basically it's a full-time job, and the sooner you can get to 100, the sooner you can start thinking about supporting, paying some bills with it. But anyway, they're changing the titling program, phasing it out. And so now I'm going to have to actually learn something new, which I don't know if I can wrap my brain around all that. We'll see. Okay, where are we? Joshua has joined us. Hello, Joshua. Let's see. Yeah, especially like when I'm driving the four-wheeler, speeding it up, but you have to speed it up, because otherwise it's just too long. If you're trying to get a lot of work in or doing a lot, you just got to speed it up. Like, are you going to sit there and watch somebody stir some batter until it's smooth? That's like a couple of minutes. You can't do that. You either have to take a piece of it in the beginning where you just start your first swirls and cut the whole middle out and just take your last couple of swirls and put a transition in there. Every time you have a cut, you've got like a little Band-Aid on each. I actually took a picture. It's not on this computer, so I can't share it, but I took a picture of the timeline of the how many people have seen the marmalade video? Just a show of hands, please. Let's see. Wait, did Jack burn his hand? That's crazy, Peter. I'm going to have to like screenshot that and like think about that later. The best thing to do for a burn is room temperature water. Remember when I got my really bad burn? Well, it was on the top of my leg, and I couldn't, stand there and like if it's in your hand, you can just put your hand in a glass of room temperature water. Do not use cold water. Obviously, don't use hot water. Room temperature water is the best thing. Leave it in there as long as you can. No, Daryl, not cold, icy water. I disagree. And then after that takes the heat out. And so like after a half an hour, 45 minutes of soaking that, you will feel the heat come out of it. And then you can start your aloe or whatever. Yes, the aloe can be straight from the plant. Just make sure you trim off, you slice off the little thorny things so that you're not scratching yourself. Yes, we only have 39 of these. If we could have like another 60 of those, that would be so awesome. I work really hard to bring you a lot of great information and build community, and I would really appreciate, all you got to do is just do that. That's my only payment I ask. So if you're on mobile, you just click off of the live chat and hit the thumbs up and then click right back on. Lemon orange marmalade, I bet that would be really good. So let's see. So what was I going to say? Yeah. So I see some people have seen the yeah, unless you're Jothan, unless you're actually explaining something. If you're just showing stuff, yes, you can cut every 4 seconds. You could cut every 3 seconds. It depends on what the activity is. You don't want to do some radical switch, like go from something totally different to something totally different. But if you're doing a cooking thing and the pan is boiling, and then you can just show 3 seconds of boiling, and then it's not boiling, and then it's boiling over, or whatever, you can do that. But 5 to 10 seconds is good. Yeah. But that's that has no bearing on the amount of footage you're shooting, because the camera is rolling all the way through that. So you've got to find those 5 seconds, those 3 to 5 seconds that tells the story the best. Let's see. Cammie is here. Cammie, I gave you a shout out earlier. Everybody is thinking of you during this time of loss of your mom. God bless. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Peter is asking for a clap for me, and Dina is doing that. So I hope you will. I was like, we had 91 and I asked for people to thumbs up, and now we got 86. So I hope people didn't get annoyed by me asking. But every single content creator asks for that. Okay. Moon dust. I don't know where you get that. If you're talking to me, John, by the way, thank you, moderators, for being here. Yes, I have thought of doing a podcast. I would love to do a podcast. I would need really good microphones and earphones, and it might be quiet enough in here to do it without a quiet room. I don't know, but you have to figure out what would people tune in for. That's the real question. Thank you, Cammie. Yes, it would grow. I think it would grow great in Florida. Crafty is talking about the Calamondin lime that I made the marmalade out of. By the way, I bought those citrus trees from Four Winds Growers. It's very common, out west to order from them because they're out there somewhere. I forget. Maybe Connie is on and she knows. Let's see. Beverly Hills is 11 degrees in Beverly Hills. No, that can't be right. Oh, right. I started this. I titled this live stream New Year's resolutions, and then I right off the bat I was talking about resolution, and I was in terms of the it's not film anymore; it's digital resolution. Those are two very different things. We need to talk about the resolutions. Let me see if I can catch up. Half Century Farm. Happy New Year to the Ozarks. Wella Wally, hello, where are you? Thank you. That when I first went to California, I worked in an art gallery on the weekends because I wanted to keep, my Monday through Fridays available for auditions, and so I would go to work at Friday at 6. It was in Santa Monica, so it was on the main street. So there's a lot of evening foot traffic, customers coming in, browsing, and I worked just weekends in this art gallery, and it was a Southwestern art gallery, which was very popular in the 80s, the late 80s. And this was in 1989. And I worked Friday night and all day Saturday and Sunday. And it was interesting. Bruce Springsteen and his wife came in there once. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to bug him, but he's the only really famous person I remember coming in. But that's Donna Howell Sickles. You can look her up. Donna Howell Sickles, Sickles. And you can still see her work online. I think she's still around and producing, but you can certainly find her work online. Let's see. North Coast fan. Sweet and spicy onion jam. Oh my gosh. North Coast fan is talking about you canned a sweet and spicy onion jam. Wow, that just makes my mouth water. Let's see, I'm behind. Somebody's got buffering. Call to action really works. I'm not sure what we're talking about now. Yeah, right, Daryl. Uh-huh. Did you get that really on the moon? Did you get it from one of those guys that went to the moon? Oh. You know, we're not going to talk about where Jack got his lemon tree, okay? Oh, really? It's not easy to find a Calamondin. I literally went down to, after I went to Jack's, and she had a variegated. Those are harder to find. When I went down to my nursery there, right in Santa Monica, sitting right there. So I just got the regular one with the regular orange, but she had hers had green and orange stripes. That's right, Happy. So if I want to just stop making videos for a while, I'll start focusing on a podcast. It'd be a lot easier, no makeup. Anybody know how to grow turmeric? Peter's having issues growing turmeric. That's a very good resolution, Linda. Now we're jumping to resolutions. Linda in AZ wants to have a successful vegetable garden with reasonable ease of care and good harvest, and to be able to work without hurting herself. And that's basically my wish too. Okay, Wella Wally just discovered me a few weeks ago watching OAG's videos. May he rest in peace. I doubt if he's resting, right? Do we think Charles is resting in heaven? I don't think so. I think he's very, very busy. I don't know how you grow a garden in heaven, though. I've never thought about that. He'll find a way. Let's see. Pamela is here from let's see. Hello, all you wonderful folks in Missouri. Are you in Missouri, or are you talking to the other folks in Missouri? And Wella Wally, I actually have a friend in Oberlin. I'm sure she's from Oberlin, and she has a jewelry business, and she's a photographer. And I think it's her hometown. Pretty sure. Yes, Four Winds won't ship to Florida. Yeah, well, I'm not sure where they are, but there's a lot of issues with, carrying those bugs around. Let's see. Onion jam almost sounds like, what do you call onions when you cook them down and they're very sweet? I have too many things in my head. Oh, good. So Happy has a recommendation on someone who's growing turmeric, Honey Tree Farms in North Carolina. My neighbor's last name was Pavlova, and she was Czech. I wonder how she's doing. I haven't heard from her since I left. Sold out at Four Winds. Yeah, when I was looking at Four Winds, a lot of the stuff that I wanted, it's seasonal. So just wait, it'll come around again. I wanted avocado trees, and now I'm glad I didn't get them, because I probably would have just had to give them away somewhere. Okay, Deanna has a good resolution to declutter their home. They sell on eBay, so it's starting to look more like a warehouse. Yeah, that's the thing. Do you want to share the name of your Etsy store? Feel free. We cross pollinate here on Late Bloomer. That's a great image. Gina says OAG is tending the trees along the streets of gold that bear 12 types of fruit in their own season. Oh, that sounds absolutely wonderful, Ed. Ed is talking about his traditional English Christmas in Beverly Hills. Caramelized, thank you. Louise, Gina, Rose, caramelized. Let's see. Everybody, thank you. Let's see. Oh my gosh, bacon, onion jam. I'm trying to get away from bacon and stop talking about bacon. I got it. Okay. My first New Year's resolution is I have to lose, well, for sure 10 pounds, but I would like to lose 15 pounds. I mean, if I gained muscle, fine. It doesn't matter what the scale says. It's just like I would like to gain muscle and lose 10 pounds of non-muscle before I go skiing in March. Because if I have less weight on my knees, that would be a very good thing. So I'm really hoping that I'm going to, no bacon. I'm not buying bacon. Oh boy, that just sounds so good. A North Coast fan, can you leave me the link or something underneath this live stream after it's over? It's 5:40. Let's see. D&D resales on eBay. Anybody, if you're looking for stuff, what kind of stuff is it? Just all kinds of stuff? Peter, you're so lucky to be retired at 54. And the animals that you rescue will be lucky as well. So, don't hate, pollinate. I love that. Do you really think so, Judy? That would be. I don't know. Didn't God say we weren't supposed to eat bacon? I mean, pork. Yes, Rome. So that will help. Mind over matter, mental attitude, very, very important. And of course, don't succumb to fear, because that's what they want. They want us all to be scared to death and, hiding out in our houses and all that. Yes. Jack says, I want to reduce my BMI, my body mass index, gaining muscle and not necessarily lose. Yes, no, I want to lose weight. There are too many pounds on that scale. Sorry. There's got to be 10 less pounds on that scale. Yeah, I know, Linda. I need to. Okay. Yes, Tracy is having a hip surgery in February. So as we come up closer to that, we're going to be wishing you a lot of good wishes, Tracy. Hey, we've got 92 people watching. Thank you. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining. I'm Kaye. I'm a late bloomer. I started gardening about 11 years ago, which is later in life. And I didn't know anything. I had to look up the difference between perennial and annual to see. I said, well, no, wait, does perennial mean like once every, what is that? I looked it up. So I really started from scratch. I didn't know anything, even though both of my grandparents had big farms. Had big gardens and small farms. So, and now we have 94. That's fantastic. So if you guys would do me the great favor of just hitting that like button, I would really appreciate it. And it helps with YouTube analytics. And you don't have to get off the live stream to do it either. All you got to do is click out of the live chat and you'll see that thumbs button right underneath it. I think I missed something. Let's see. That's what I thought, Tracy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been eating too much, so that'll help, just to eat less. I ate too much over Christmas and I wasn't feeling well for a couple of days, just intestinal. Thank you, Gina, for that contribution. Let's see. She's talking about how in the Bible, Peter had a dream, which he interpreted as God saying that meats were to be eaten, that all the meats were to be eaten. And now we have learned how to properly prepare pork to kill trichinosis. Let's see. I don't know what this says, so I'm going to just, if you are not able to write a comment in English language, just enjoy the live stream by listening, because I don't know what you're saying, and yeah, so I don't know. Okay. Oh, that's interesting, Louise. I didn't know that. Pamela is already ready for spring. She has started her 7 herbs. Wow. Oh, gosh. Oh, Peter. I'm sure a lot of people could relate to that. I mean, the negligence is a real thing, either with the companies, could be a company you work for, it could be the hospital you go to. You just, I mean, right now there's a lot of doctors who, well, I won't say that because, but you know what I'm saying. They're not making good health decisions right now. Thank you, Debbie. Everybody's asking for me. Thank you so much. Wella Wally has been off of pork for 6 years and her health improved. Okay. It would be nice to just be able to do it, occasionally, rather than just say, I'm never doing it again. I think that's a NC Coast fan is got a resolution to grow more of what they'll actually eat. I think I did that for the most part this year because I know I'll eat all those purple hull peas. I ate all the fresh okra and preserved quite a bit. The beans I didn't take good enough care of. I would have had more beans and I would have eaten those. But the corn, I didn't do well with the corn. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do different next year in terms of what I will grow. Well, it's interesting. Cammie's going to study Revelation in the Bible, and as I was, my teacher was saying again. Well, they say it all the time. It's like you cannot understand if you don't understand the beginning, you cannot understand the end. So your study needs to include Genesis if you want to understand Revelation. And I'm not an expert. I'm just learning myself. Now, my son has done intermittent fasting, and he did shave off some pounds. Bye-bye, Romesa. Thank you. Herb says, I'm starting some wildflowers next year. That's going to be so nice. I bought a huge pack. I think it's wildflower. Yeah, a huge pack of wildflower seeds. And I wanted to just spread it all over the side over there. And then somebody was saying today on a comment that they read that sprinkling flower seeds in the snow is very effective. I'm going to have to go back and read that. Has anybody ever heard of that? Wow. Linda, that's good. That's very good. That's you need to do it in moderation for sure. I don't know what. Well, whatever it is, he's timed out. But that might come up again, so watch for that, Jack, please. Yes, you too, Peter. Thank you so much. Oh no, Jack, you don't need to do that. That's for sure. There you go, Cammie. Good girl. I got a long way to go to catch up with you. Yes, I was doing Tai Chi for a while because of balance. That was in California, though. I haven't done anything here. It's not good. And Denise teaches exercise class, so there's no excuse for me. I need to get going on that. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was poppy seeds. I think it was poppy seeds, they said. Leanne. Okay. She says she has bacon for dessert every now and then. Right. Okay. I think I'm down to the bottom of the comments. We're getting close to 6 o'clock. I just wanted to, I've showed you before my neighbor, my wonderful neighbor, Terry from California. She lived 2 houses down. And if you've been following me a long time, you know that in between us was my dear little friend, Zachary, who was a child. And when he was growing up, he would love to come over to my garden and help me shell peas and all that. Well, they moved up to San Francisco. I haven't seen them since, but I do hear from the parents occasionally. And I think he's like a teenager now. But I heard from Terry today. She lived on the other side. And in the very beginning, like the first season of Late Bloomer, you saw her husband walking their dog by, and then you saw her one time walking the dog by. But anyway, Terry, if you're watching, I just wanted to shout you out because she, as a hobby, she makes these lovely cards. This has got a texture to it. So I'm not exactly sure if she painted all of this gold on there, but I feel sure that she wrote this, and all of these paints stand up off of the surface. And then inside there's a cutout that she has glued onto here. And then I think she stamps on the words. Anyway, it's a beautiful card and I love it. And she wrote me and said, I thought you might be interested. Anybody that knows me from the old neighborhood in California. She says she's been following me and she's kind of amazed at my stamina and where I find the time, and I should be proud. But back on my street, my house, it has been up for sale. The house that's sold that I left has been up for sale. At this point, she thinks it's been sold again. There was a realtor scurrying about recently. And then in August, Zachary, my little friend Zachary's dad, sold their house. And then my friends Stan and Linda, if you remember when I went up to Big Sur for those few days, and I hung out with Stan and Linda and their family, their house has sat with a fence around it they sold their house before I left. And it has been sitting there all this time with a fence around it, and they're just starting now to build 2 houses. But she says, I think you left at the right time, as homelessness has become an even bigger problem. And then she talks about the local politician that wanted to put a tent city on the beach, because I live just up from the beach. But everybody was up in arms about that, so that's on hold. And then she talks about the newly rich that have moved in there with the me attitude. Boy, I know that. I lived in LA for 32 years. You run into that. And the newest thing now in LA is you've probably seen this in the news. I have. The follow home robbery, or the gangs of smash and grab robberies at high-end stores. So basically she's just staying at home, and but they have a house up in the mountains. So, and her sister lives 2 blocks away, sister and brother-in-law. So she's got family. Anyway, she says, don't push yourself too much. There's always tomorrow. Anyway, some of my resolutions, and this is basically more like a to-do thing, but I decided, somebody left me a comment because I was talking about rainwater, and they left a comment and said, I think it was Pamela. She said, your rainwater is not better or cleaner or anything. There's all kinds of stuff coming out of, the sky. And so I'm going to get my rainwater tested. And so I was looking up today, and there's a place that tests in California, but I really want to call the extension office and see if the University of Tennessee does any water testing, rather than sending it all the way to California. Who knows when you're going to get it back? So I'd like to deal with that. Now, I'm also researching Creeping Charlie, because I wanted to just tell you that I went to a local park, and I was, because my son wanted to go and walk his dog. And I'm walking along, looking down, and I'm seeing Creeping Charlie over acres mixed in with the grass. And I'm going, oh, maybe I didn't bring it in the hay. Maybe it's already here, along with the ground ivy. I mean, I don't know. But so I'm looking it up, and it says some people don't try to get rid of it because some people actually eat it, and it's got a lot of vitamin C. And so I wanted to ask if anybody has, Tracy, I wanted to ask if anybody has eaten Creeping Charlie or put it in salads or anything like that. And then, of course, my big thing I've got to do is find a landscaper. And the only thing I've done so far is text my mower, because I know he did a bunch of stuff like that. Not necessarily like drainage, but he does have a tractor. And so I wanted to just run it by him first. So I'll give him a day to get back to me. I'm going to try to make some phone calls tomorrow and try to find a landscaper, because, by the way, and we want to set a date for it's 5:59. We want to set a date for the survival challenge without power. We're not going to try to do water and all of that. We're just going to do power. And for most people, that means heat. So I'm thinking of setting it for, when did I say? Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. This is Wednesday. I was just looking at this today, because in terms of my weather, it's going to get cold. And so I'm still thinking that most people are it's raining now. Most people are going to be better off. Saturday after next, everything is dropping down. Monday at night is going to be 15. But that's the thing, is I think we need to do it on a Saturday so that most of the people that work will be home and they can be on top of this. So does everybody agree that Saturday, let's see what the date would be. January the 8th. What about January the 8th? How does everybody feel about that? Yeah, Debbie, if you have I do have a really good, here's Lyndon, in case you haven't seen her in a while. Let go, let go, let go. There you go. Let go. Wait, let go. There you go. Look up, say hi. Those eyes are actually blue. I know it's hard to see, but she's going on 17. Emmanuel is here. Hello, Emmanuel. No, she doesn't really do that much, but these outdoor cats do. Thank you, Debbie. I locked Lyndon in the office bathroom. She doesn't move around that much anyway, and so it was no big deal. And that way, there just wasn't any kind of. He was very interested, but he does not. He never barks. I heard him bark once, and that was only because we were out at night, and he heard something over that way, and he barked. But he just never barks. He's so well trained that he sees a cat and he just, my son tells him to head forward and he does. So it was not a problem. And he was not a problem. We just put all the chairs sort of around the Christmas tree so he couldn't go over there and accidentally knock something down. We're talking about cabbage. One of the tastiest things I've ever had was the Savoy cabbage. If you look back, NC Coast fan, if you look back at my Savoy cabbage video that I did years ago, oh, that was just the yummiest thing that I made with that. Well, Debbie, I'm talking about, I'm sure I could filter the rainwater, but I'm talking about watering my plants. If we're getting heavy metals out of the atmosphere, I'd like to know about it. That's what people say. I don't know. So I thought, this one test, this like all-inclusive test from this place in California is $769. So what I need to know, the next lowest one is $269. So that's why I wanted to check with the university before I go spending all that money, Cabbage fried in liquid gold, BG. I heard that there's even more people leaving California for Idaho. I just heard that. Right, Judy. I'm doing that 2 meals a day. I have my first one between 10 and 11, and then I eat between 4 and 5. But I may need to have a snack. You're supposed to have a protein snack. Protein helps you sleep, and if you have a little bit of protein, even if it's a handful of nuts or something before you go to bed, it helps you sleep better. That's what I read. I'm not a doctor. It's just what I read. Everybody do their own research about everything. Patricia is gone. One time I drank raw cabbage juice. My raw guy recommended it for a particular thing that was ailing me. I don't remember what it was. That stuff is really, really, that will curl your tail, as they used to say. That will turn you inside out. That is so strong. I think Linda's gone. I think we're winding down here. Let's see. I ate a lot of cabbage growing up. I love cooked cabbage, and I love really good coleslaw. I don't know how you guys got onto cabbage. Okay, let's see. Okay, Deanna says she's worried about her indoor plants, so she's going to pass on the challenge, the survival challenge. But just know that use the challenge of us doing it to figure out your own game plan for what you would do. You know, I just ordered a Mr. Buddy heater, and for a short period of time, something like that could keep your plants alive. So do some due diligence and research and figure out what you would do, what you could do to get through something like that, even if you don't actually do it this time. Thank you, Doolittle Ranch. Where do you live? I really appreciate that. You have your own ranch? Oh, hey, Mr. Tom, we're just about to sign off. Oh, well, obviously I can't do anything about that. I just want to know what is falling on them, I mean, I suppose if I had them inside a high tunnel or something. I don't know. Right. Right. If anybody looked back at the story of fluoride, you just go, how did they sell that to the American people? I saw a video on this recently, and there is a particular man that actually did do that. He was hired by Alcoa, the advertising agency, to do a campaign to sell the American people and the dentists all on fluoride, putting fluoride in. Yep. It's incredible. And there are still dentists that swear that it's good for you. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sauerkraut juice is not as bad as raw cabbage juice. Wow. That's just awful. Okay. I'll look for that, Kristen. Thank you. Country Homestead Preacher, thanks so much. We're just getting off. Happy New Year to everyone. Pickled slaw. Very good. Oh, wow. It jumped. I'm trying to get to the bottom here. Hey, Catherine. Catherine says, yes, I saw it, but now I don't even remember what I said. Do I know the video name? Country Homestead Preacher? What video was I talking about? Oh, that one. No. I see so much stuff. At the end of the night, I just go, where did I see that? But it's a particular, I'm trying to think how better to identify this guy. It's kind of coming back to me, but he was born in Austria and he came here as a young child. And he was a relative. Oh, yes, he was a relative of I better not say because I could be running some things together. But if you look up the story of fluoride, maybe you can find it. But that's not the only thing he sold. He sold the American people on. Wow. Well, it's the way they advertised everything. It's the way they sold us on everything. Back then we didn't have 10,000 options. We had 3 stations. We saw all the commercials and they geared everything towards if they put the thinking was if they put a white lab coat on an actor and said 9 out of 10 experts agree. If they used that line and the actor was wearing a white lab coat, that we all believed that the doctors thought it was good for us. That's how they sold cigarettes and everything else. It's just amazing. Hi, Johnny. I use tooth powder, and it's called, what is the name of the brand? Oh, I can't tell you what the name of the brand is, but it's tooth powder. I either use that or I'm a Young Living essential oils distributor, and I use their toothpaste. Oh, that sounds lovely, Doolittle Ranch. She has a small estate in California. Is it a she? Small estate in California, in Ventura County, working on tomatoes and peppers this year. She's got silky and meat chickens running around everywhere. That's awesome. Congratulations. I hope you can keep it going, and I hope the political situation improves drastically out there. Right. So true, Jothan. I love vinegar slaw. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Or vinegar slaw is great with fried catfish and hush puppies, which I haven't had since I've been back here. Thank you. Doolittle Ranch is asking for thumbs up from everybody. If we could have 14 more of these, that would even out. Thank you so much, Debbie, Gail, Daryl. I know, Country Homestead Preacher. That's just, I had this doctor, and I would go to the doctor and say, I just want to know what's wrong with me. I'll take it from there. Just give me a diagnosis. And I said, I don't want any medicine. And he would go, Kaye, you're tying my hands behind my back. And I didn't realize at the time that they're all making kickbacks from all of this stuff, from the shots, from the medicine and everything. And so I didn't realize I was, taking his livelihood away by saying, I just want the diagnosis. I don't want to take any medicine. I thought he might be admire me. No. Okay, Elizabeth. Okay, well, have them follow along and hopefully we'll be able to cover it and they can see what it's like. Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate that. She says I'm an inspiration. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Daryl says it's a neural toxin, kills brain cells. And Leslie has a suggestion about where to look for that also. I think baking soda and salt is probably Stacy just had a like a homemade toothpaste. That's probably what hers was. I didn't see that particular video. Oh, yes. Well, I'm glad you found that out, Jothan. BHT. Yeah, I mean, we used to be so much healthier than we are now, and it's because of all of these things. Okay, I've gotten to the bottom. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah. Well, it's toxic. On that note, have a completely untoxic holiday. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting my channel in whatever way you can. Thank you for the things you've sent me, the cards and gifts and donations this year. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Judy, especially. She's my newest patron at Patreon. You can, there are a lot of creators who have a Patreon, which is a monthly, you pay monthly, whatever you can afford, choose to afford, to support your favorite creators. And Judy has become one at my Patreon, and you can find Late Bloomer Show at Patreon. You can also find all the ways to support this channel underneath all of the videos. So thank you so much for all of your support, and be sure and leave me a comment underneath the video and tell me, what you like best about my channel and what you'd like to see me focus on next year. Obviously, I still have so much to fix here and do and all of that. And I can try to cover that in videos, or I can just do all that work, not videotape it, and just focus on gardening. So just let me know what you really like about my channel. And if you could share it with a few friends over the holidays and help the channel grow, that would be even better. So thank you so much. Have a blessed New Year, as Cammie says. And you take care, Cammie. We're thinking of you. And Julie is too. So wait, did I get it mixed up? Is it Julie or Judy or both? But anyway, thank you, Julie. So I really appreciate all my patrons, and I apologize again for not doing anything really special for my patrons. I am just trying to get the content out as fast as I can, and just know that your gift is really appreciated, and I can't say enough about my gratitude. So thank you so much. And I will say with that, healthy 2022, everybody. Keep your head up, your eyes forward, lean into the fight. Don't be afraid. And that's the best advice I can give you. God bless. See you in the new year.